She's a baby, so we're very excited about that. Baby Addison was born on April 1st, so I'm excited. I get to next week, yes. So we're very, very happy for her. As I was saying, for everyone
Were we not connected?
You said to mute herself, and I thought that's what you did.
No. Where's I need the thing. I need the thing. Okay, I don't know how to do it without the.
Julia, I can't hear because people have not muted themselves.
Behind the scenes right now, and she's gonna put us all on mute. Is that for me? And then we'll get started. I think we have almost everybody here. We're missing. I think we're only missing one person. Yeah. Excellent. Perfect. So, as you know, most of you, my name is Erin, and then we have Grace, a wonderful Grace, who's just started with us, only a couple weeks in, filling Julia's very big shoes. So we'll have Grace with us for the next year. And like I said, hopefully you all received your package okay today. We're gonna go through and we're making a roasted fish with a curry butter sauce, as well as a 3-bean salad. So perfect. So for those of you who are cooking along with us, fantastic. Anyone else, take notes, and you can make it on your own time, of course. So we're just gonna kind of go through step by step each of the ingredients. So like I said, you will need some ingredients on your own. So the olive oil, salt and pepper, some butter, some sugar, and that's it. So if you have all of those, fantastic. We're gonna start with the vegetables for our roasted fish. The first thing we wanna do is preheat our oven to 425 degrees. We can do that. Then by the time we're done chopping and getting everything ready, our ovens should be nice and toasty on this nice hot day. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Perfect. All right. So we're gonna start with the vegetables. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our fennel and we're gonna chop it up. So we're doing the roasted vegetables. So you can cut them to as big or as small of pieces as you want. We want to make sure to cut off this weird rounded bit here, that the bulb bottom.
Excuse me, Erin.
That it can taste a little. Yep.
Excuse me. You're totally blurred, both of you. You're totally blurred.
Am I blurred for everyone else as well?
Yes.
Yeah. It's blurry for everybody, eh?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It isn't clear.
1 second. So can we... Okay. All right. I think that Grace has a solution for us. She's gonna get some extra bars in here for our Wi-Fi. So hopefully it gets better in the next couple of seconds as she does some things. So we want to make sure, I'll try and be as visual as possible with my descriptions using my words. With the fennel, we want to take off the bottom bit that looks like it has that hard bottom to it. So if you have your fennel, and then we're going to cut our fennel into whatever bite-sized pieces we want. Fennel does have a little bit of a potent flavor. So if you love fennel, make the pieces bigger. If it's a flavor that isn't your favorite profile, then you can make them smaller so it doesn't take over the flavor as much. I know Grace loves fennel. She makes a fennel apple salad. So we're going to make it big chunks for her. We want to cut them up so that we can roast them and put them in a bowl. So we're just going to put them aside. And this is a lot of fennel for us, so I'm only going to use half of what she gave us. So we're going to just put our fennel in the bowl. Then we're going to move on to our onion. So you have your onion, and you want to use half of it for the roasted vegetables and half of it for your salad later. So make sure you're cutting it in half and saving your half for later. So same thing, because we are roasting it, you want to make sure that your pieces are big enough that you can eat it and enjoy it. But again, if onion isn't your favorite flavor, make sure that you can cut them smaller so that it meets the flavor a bit. Once you've cut up your onion, you're going to put it in your bowl with your fennel. It's going to look really pretty with the purples and the greens and the whites. I'm going to take that aside. And we're going to do our potatoes as well. So in your bag, you should have gotten some potatoes, so Yukon Gold potatoes, as well as some mint in there. So take your mint out, and we'll use that as garnish at the end. I think someone sharing their screen. Perfect. So we want to take our potatoes. Again, whatever size you want. I'm going to cut mine into thirds or into halves, depending on how big they are. Mostly because I love roasted vegetables and I love them to have that kind of crispy outside. So the more I have, better. We're going to cut those up into our small bits and add them to our fennel and our onion. Chop away here. Everything has been washed, but if you did wash it again, that's okay. You can never be too careful. Oh. Perfect. Is it less blurry now? No, it's still blurry?
No, it's
Okay.
very blurry.
Oh no. Okay, well, yeah. I'll keep trying to use my descriptive words to paint a picture for you guys. So we've cut up our potatoes, we've put them in our bowl, and right now we should have fennel, onions, and potatoes. Everyone good with that? Perfect. We're going to take our oil, and we're just going to kind of coat our vegetables in oil, as much or as little as you want.
Okay.
Want to make sure that it can be covered so that it cooks properly. So we're going to put our oil in our bowl, our salt, a couple dashes, and our pepper, a couple dashes of pepper in there. Like that. And then everyone's favorite part, the tossing of the vegetables. We want to take our vegetables in our bowl and make sure that our salt, pepper, and oil cover all of our vegetables here. I'm sorry that it's blurry because you are missing my expert tossing skills right here. All right. So once we've covered up our vegetables with our salt, our pepper, our oil, we're going to take our vegetables, put them on our baking sheet, and kind of spread them out so that they cook evenly.
Want this?
Yep.
No, I've got it in here. A touch of oil.
So Erin, so you're using baking sheets, Erin?
It's a little better.
Erin? So
It's a little better. It's a little better, but not very much.
Are you trying to get our attention, Joya?
Yes, it is a little better, and it's not as blurry. You're getting clear.
Oh, good. Good.
But I
Good,
have a question. I have a question here. You're using baking sheets and not the bowl, eh? Because I'm just, that's fine, but it just says, mix it in a bowl.
Yes. So we mixed it in the bowl with the oil, the salt, and the pepper, and then we tossed it around, and then we put it on the baking sheet at the end so that we could put it in the oven.
No, but it says, it says toss fennel, onion, etc., and it's 3-quart baking in a 3-quart baking dish to coat. and then it suggests you just put it right in the oven and that. So that's why I'm a
Oh
little
no, you
puzzled.
definitely want it on a baking sheet.
Okay,
Unless
that's
you
fine.
have if you have an oven-safe bowl, you can absolutely do that. Our bowl will melt.
Oh, no,
But yes,
no,
if
I
you do
mean,
have an oven-safe bowl, put that right in.
I just, no, I just,
Baking sheet?
I just assumed that we were using a bowl that was for the oven, like a casserole
Then
bowl.
you're one step ahead of us. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like to use the baking sheet just because it evenly
Spreads out.
roasts all the vegetables.
And then
I
are
like
you
that
gonna
little
put,
bit of char on mine.
and then you're gonna put the fish on top of that?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, well, I'll just use a baking sheet. I'm fine with that too. I just get the other one out.
Yep. The bowl also works. It's really up to you and a personal preference.
Okay, I was just a little confused. That's no
If you
problem.
can-
Thanks.
Okay.
One of the great things about cooking is there's really no right or wrong way to do it. There's so many options.
Not baking.
All right. If everybody has their vegetables in their baking sheet or bowl option, your choice, we can pop it in the oven.
Oven isn't hot yet.
Timer here. Okay, so we're gonna put our timer on for 35 minutes, and we'll check it about halfway through.
Do
Okay.
you know what to switch of these ladies?
As our vegetables are cooking, we're gonna start with our butter sauce. So, as you know from other cooking classes, both Julia and I love to cook with butter, and so does Grace. So we're very excited about this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna melt approximately 4 tablespoons of butter. You can use more, you can use less, depending on how much sauce you want, depending on how much butter you like, and depending on how much you like to measure. Again, with cooking, it's not quite the same as baking. You can really ad-lib if you like. So we want to make sure that we're putting our burner on medium or low because we don't want to burn our butter. We want to make sure that the flavor of the butter kind of comes through without that burnt taste. So we're going to take our butter, melt it. A little more. Fry it.
How much butter are you adding, Erin? How much
So we
butter
just
are you
put-
adding?
Yeah, we've just put the butter on the burner.
How much?
We want it on a low to
Big
medium
chunk
heat
of butter.
so that it doesn't burn. And then as we wait for this butter to kind of melt, what we're going to do is we're going to chop up the flavors that are going to go inside of it. So we're going to add our ginger. So if you take your piece of ginger out, you want to cut off the skin. We don't really want that in there. And we want to cut our ginger up nice and thin. So Grace is cutting it here so that we can really get that flavor out of the ginger. So the thinner it is, the better it is. Yes. So Grace is going to cut it lengthwise, and then she's going to cut those pieces of other lengthwise, into cubes. We're cutting it into small, small cubes.
Just dice it as small as you can get it.
Yeah. Just make sure to keep an eye on your butter so that it isn't, like I said, we don't want it to burn. That will change the flavor of it. Perfect. And once you've done your ginger, we're going to do our garlic. And as you know, we also love garlic. You can see why we chose this recipe, garlic and butter. So we're going to chop up our garlic, kind of the same idea, is we want to have nice small pieces of that garlic just to increase that flavor profile when it's mixing with the butter. So take as many cloves as you want. It does call for 2 cloves of garlic. You can add more, you can add less. We gave you ample, just in case you wanted to go a little extra with it. Again, it goes with your whatever flavor profile you like. If you have a garlic press, you could also use that. what Grace is doing is she's kind of Frenching the garlic ahead of time to help get that extra layer of skin, of garlic skin off. And again, it just helps release those flavors. So she's going to cut those up nice and thin for us as we melt our butter. There's something really nice about a pan of melted butter here, making me.
It definitely smells good.
It does. It smells very good. And I feel better about the melted butter because I have a pan full of vegetables in the oven. It's all about the balance, right? So we just want to make sure that we're melting the butter. It's not boiling, it's not burning, but it is getting warm. Once your butter has melted and is all liquid without any chunks of solid butter in it, is that where you guys are?
Yep.
Perfect. So once it's melted, we're going to add our garlic and our ginger. Okay. All that delicious flavor in there. So we're just going to kind of stir that around a little bit, letting those flavors meld together. And then once we're going to give this about 10 seconds here just by itself, and then we'll add our curry powder in. I want 1 teaspoon of curry powder.
I gave you a little bit more than 1 teaspoon, mostly because if you like spicy food, like a bit more spice to your food, you can add more.
Yep. Add our curry around. Yep. We're going to stir it around. Perfect. And we're just going to let those flavors mix together. So we want to keep it on low to medium heat, again, making sure it's not boiling. And what's going to happen is the color is going to start to intensify. It's going to start to become a nice, deep, rich color. It won't look like butter anymore. It's going to look like this great curry sauce. So we're just going to do this for about a minute to make sure that all the flavors come together. Yeah, we're going to take...
You'll definitely start to smell it, too. You'll
Yes.
smell the garlic and the ginger coming out of the butter.
If it does start to boil, just make sure to turn it down a little.
You don't have to worry about cooking the garlic and the ginger.
Mixing or not.
You're also going to put it on your nice and light roasting right now.
I'm sure we don't.
Smelling really good. Yeah. How does it smell for you guys?
But that's different now.
There were there.
Keep this going for about 30 more seconds, let's say.
Okay. Just put in a ton of butter.
All right.
It tastes good.
So we're going to take the butter mixture off of our pan, or off of our heat. We're just going to put it aside for the next little bit. Because we are going to add it to our fish when we add the fish to our roasted vegetables. So we want to just kind of take it away. If it starts to solidify, no problem. We can just put it back on the heat again later to kind of meld all those flavors together. But we want to make sure it sits to kind of jive a little bit more. So as we wait for our vegetables to continue cooking, we still have several minutes, I believe. Yes, we have a lot of time left for our vegetables. So we're going to work on our bean salad. So you should have received a baggie full of beans with a lovely liquid in them. We didn't want them to dry out, so we want to make sure to take our beans and we want to rinse them. So you want to kind of rinse them with cold water to get that
Colander.
lovely slime. So that way we can season them with a fresh flavor. So Grace is just putting them in the colander, rinsing them in water, and they're turning them back into a bowl. Perfect. Beans now. So we do have a bean medley in our kit. So there's about 3 or 4 different types of beans in here. There's some kidney beans, some chickpeas, some pinto beans, and I think there's one more, but I forget what it is. All very delicious and nutritious. So we're going to take, once we have our clean beans, we're going to take those beans and put them into a bigger bowl where we're going to mix our salad. Perfect. And then we're going to do a little more chopping. So we're going to add our celery, our onions, and our parsley. So our master chopper here, Grace, is going to take our celery and chop it up. And again, it is going in a salad, so personal preference, how big and small you'd like to chop your celery. I like to be able to eat it on a fork, and I love to get all the bits of flavor on one bite. So we'll chop them up nice and small. For reference, I don't know if you can see how blurry it is. But nice and small bits so that we can get forks full of all the flavors together.
It's up to you. I like to keep my vegetables a little bigger in my salads because I like the crunch. But again, personal preferences.
Grace is so fast at chopping. We won't tell Julia that she's been replaced. All right. So we'll add our celery to our beans. Again, there's going to be some nice color in this salad. One of the more parts of food is the different colors you can get.
Wow, isn't that
Perfect.
nice? That's
So we're
fun.
going to take our onion next. Same personal preference, we're going to use the other half of the onion that we provided with you, and you're going to chop it up. We're going to put it in our salad. What size of onion Grace decides to cut? No pressure, no pressure. We're going nice and thin. Raw red onion does have a potent flavor. So again, if it's not your favorite, you could always replace it with
A roasted onion?
a roasted onion. Yep, you could put a roasted onion in. You could add a carrot. Usually it's just putting some color and some vegetables in our salad.
There's also, if you find that the onion has too much flavor this time, if you want to make this again, if you chop your onion beforehand, put it in a bit of cold water for about 30 minutes, and then rinse it out of that cold water, it has less of a strong taste to it.
Pro tips.
How do you know these things?
I don't know. I think they're both nice. So
Experience.
Put that onion in our salad. Perfect. Okay, so we should have our beans, our celery, and our onion. And now we're going to do our parsley. Almost forgot. Yes. Nice deep green to go with our colors.
When you're chopping your parsley, you want to make sure you take off the stems, so it's just the leaves that are going into your salad.
Pepperoni.
Again, parsley's got a bit of a stronger taste, so I find that this one's better if you chop it a little bit smaller.
We're going strong with the flavor profile in this recipe. That's what it's all about, right? Trying new flavors, trying new recipes,
Would you like to?
modifying what we do. Parsley. We're just gonna kind of put it all together here. Nice mingling of flavors and colors.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hold your hand out.
So once we have that going, we're gonna let it sit for a minute, and we're gonna work on our dressing.
Like that.
So with the dressing, we're going to be using our cider vinegar, our sugar, our olive oil. If you don't really like that vinegary, acidic flavor, just use less of the apple cider vinegar. It will kind of reduce that acidity. So we're going to start by mixing everything in a smaller bowl. We're going to start with our apple cider vinegar. We're going to add 1/3 of a cup. again, if you don't really like that acidity flavor, then just add a little bit less. Right,
Don't
so
put
once
too much
more
in.
cider vinegar, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Again, more or less depending on your taste buds. If you like things a little sweeter,
But I put in
whatever you want there.
maple syrup, so you can sweeten it up a bit.
Ooh, I heard someone saying maple syrup. You can do maple syrup. You can do honey. There's a lot of substitutes you can use for plain sugar.
Excuse me, I'm missing a lot of that because there's people talking in the background and I'm not hearing what you guys are saying. So I missed something about, I got up to the parsley and then, so the apple cider is what you provided us with?
Yes, it's in the
Okay.
little baggie of liquid.
Okay,
On
and
it
that's-
actually said,
And it's just apple cider?
yep, apple cider vinegar, yeah.
Okay, that's what I meant, yeah, right. Pardon?
It's the bag that says ACV.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah. And then we were saying that we're adding sugar to it, but if you don't want to use sugar, you could always replace that with either maple syrup or honey, any of that sweetener. It takes out some of that tartness, and yeah, you can use whatever kind of sweetener you want in that case. When I make my salad dressings at home, love to use honey instead of sugar. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of stirring in the sugar a little with that apple cider vinegar before we add our next flavors. So we're gonna take our oil next. So we're gonna take 3 tablespoons of oil and vinegar. Know the saying. Oh, it's gonna kind of bubble up in there. And we're just gonna stir it all together. It's not gonna mix very well because they don't mix, but that's okay. And then we're gonna take our salt and our pepper. Add some salt. The recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons. Salt and pepper to taste. Always the way to go.
I find that salad dressings are really, when you make them, you take a little finger, see how you like it, add what you like, add what you don't like, whichever you like.
We will not be doing that because of COVID in this room, but if you are in the same household, feel free. So we're just gonna stir all of that amazing dressing together. We can just grab a spoon. Grace?
Thank you.
Grace is gonna do a little test taste for us and see what we need more or less of.
Oh, it's perfect.
Look at that. First time's the charm. So we're gonna take our dressing. We're gonna pour it over our salad. Perfect. And once we have that in our bowl, we're gonna do our tossing again. We're just gonna get everything nice and coated. Let all those colors come out. Picture so we can kind of see everything all the way. Beautiful. Now, part of this recipe is about melding of the flavors. Like we said, there's a lot of big flavors going on in this salad. So we want to kind of mix them all into one, and to do so, we're going to take the salad and we're just going to let it sit in the fridge the remainder of the time. So while we finish cooking our vegetables and our fish, our bean salad will be marinating, I guess for a lack of a better term, in our fridge. So I'm just going to go put this in the fridge.
The salad too, when you eat it, you can take it right out of the fridge and have it cold. You can also take it out and let it sit for a bit if you prefer it at room temperature. Again, completely up to whatever tastes good to you.
Okay, so we're gonna take a look. Our vegetables have been in there for, where's my timer here? About half the time. So we're gonna just kind of take a little peek at them. We're gonna open them up and give them a little toss, give them a little shake, give them a little flip. Safety first.
Ooh, they smell delicious.
They do.
Yes.
Okay. Our vegetables are looking pretty good here. we're just gonna toss them around. Like I said, I love that crisp. So we're gonna toss them, flip them. If you want to add more salt, pepper, anything you want, really. You know what we should have done? We should have put some garlic in there. Although there will be lots of garlic from the sauce.
It might not be too late. We could add garlic now.
We're gonna put that back in the oven. Let that sit for a minute. Yes. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our fish out of our bag. So we're gonna take our fish out of our bag and we're gonna season it. We're gonna give it some time to let those flavors again get it to the fish. We want to take our fish. One of the other things we like to do is just kind of pat down the fish. You can take a paper towel, you can take a cloth, whatever you want. Just get some of that liquid out of it, and that way the salt will absorb really well into it. So this is a skinless fish, so we want to pat both sides. Perfect. There we go. Excellent. And now we're going to take our salt, and we're just going to cover the fish in salt. Seasoning both sides. You can also add some pepper if you want.
And then I find whenever I season my meat or anything, I like to just kind of pat the fish a little bit and make sure that seasoning is like in the fish. And then you don't have to worry about it falling off when you move it from pan to plate to anything like that.
So we're going to take our delicious pan of garlic, butter, ginger, and curry, and we're just going to put it back on our heat, on a low, low, low heat, just to kind of get it feeling alive again. So we're going to let that go. So for timing's sake, I'm sure you don't want to hear us just yammer on for the next 15 minutes. We're going to pretend our vegetables are already fully cooked. So we're going to warm up this little butter mixture here, just to get it nice and melted again. We're going to take our fish. Actually, we're going to take the pan of vegetables out first. Ours are actually looking quite good. Yeah, crispy there looking. So we're going to take vegetables and kind of line them all in a little pile here. We're going to take our fish and we're just going to dip it ever so slightly in our butter concoction. Just want to kind of coat it as well. Look at Grace, so brave. And then we're going to take the fish and we're going to place it right on our bed of vegetables, laying it nice and flat on top. You can see that nice tray of fish on top of the vegetables. Nice and flat. Nice flat fish. It's nice and yellow now as well. You can see the colors. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our curry mixture here, and we're just going to pour it on top, nice and slowly onto our fish. We're going to get all those flavors on our fish. One of the best parts about this is all the chunks of our garlic and our ginger. So fish can be a little tricky to cook. It can overcook quite quickly. So we want to just make sure to watch the timer on this one. We've given you all about a pretty thick piece of fish so that it's a little more forgiving. We want to make sure that when we put it in the oven, we're going to put it in for about 10 minutes and then we're just going to take a look at it. We want to make sure that it's nice and opaque, that it can kind of fluff away when you touch it with the fork. If it looks solid still, then it's not done. And again, it does, fish overcooks quite quickly. So it's a lot of it is of practice and feel. So we're going to put our fish back in the oven. And we're going to reduce the heat in our oven. So we actually want it to be at 350 instead of 425, and that will help reduce that overcooking of that fish. Perfect. Grace knows how to work the oven better than I do, and she's only been here 2 weeks. Excellent. So we're going to let that cook for about 10 minutes. I'll put a new timer on. Minutes, perfect. So as we do that, just wait. Our beans are marinating, our fish is cooking, our vegetables are roasting. It's a pretty easy recipe. Does anyone have any questions so far? Everybody excited to try their curry buttered fish? Oh, I am. The smell is delicious. We're just gonna let that cook.
Yeah, the timing should be pretty good. At about 10 minutes when you check your fish, I would take your salad out of the fridge and maybe toss that around, give it a taste, see if it's got the flavors that you want. Maybe it goes back in the fridge, sits out, ready to serve. That's up to you.
Perfect. Let that do its thing. In the meantime, how is everybody's spring going so far? Has anybody had the chance to get their vaccine?
Mine tomorrow.
Tomorrow, how
I get mine
exciting.
tomorrow. At the Orleans YMCA, yeah, 10 o'clock. And then my second one at the end of July, so yay!
Yes, that's so exciting. It's nice to see that light at the end of the tunnel, eh?
I just had my shot and it was great.
Amazing! Congratulations!
Yeah,
It feels good.
it was so exciting. It was really something.
Absolutely. Did you get it done at a pharmacy or at the Sportsplex?
I got it at Nepean Sportsplex. It was very well organized. It was very straightforward, and everybody was just great, like you two.
That's so good. Yeah, I've heard only great things about it. I got mine back in December, and it was still a little unorganized then when I went, but I think that they've got that under control now. Yeah, that's great news. Now my dad gets his at the end of April. Very excited. I haven't seen him in a while, so it'll be nice when we're both vaccinated. That's one of the hardest parts, I think, is not being able to see family members and give them hugs and stuff. So it'll be nice when we're able to do that again. And with the nicer weather as well. I know we're all staying home right now for the next 28 days, but soon. All right, what are we at here? So yeah, what we're gonna do, we throw out some of the stuff. Does anyone have any questions about the ingredients that we've used? I know I personally haven't really cooked with fennel much, but Grace seems to be an expert on it.
Fennel is definitely one of my favorite vegetables. I put it in a salad anytime I can. I think it's got such an interesting taste to it, and it goes really well with any acidic things. So I put it with like red onion, I put it with green apples and a little bit of vinegar. It's delicious.
Where was that supposed? It says fennel on it, but we use the big white things as fennel.
Oh yes, the hair. So the hair is the top of fennel, so it's little fennel hairs.
And
Some
where do we
people-
use that? Where do we use it?
So
We
the
didn't use.
Yeah, that's my bad. I forgot about it because I don't use fennel.
The fennel hairs is really up to you if you want to cook with. I use them when I make a salad. I chop them really finely and
Yeah.
put them on top of a fresh salad. So maybe if you want to chop them and sprinkle them on your bean salad.
Well, maybe I'll do because I use the other big fennel all in the salad. So I'll just save that for the next time I make a salad. And then we got, I think it's mint. Where do we put the mint?
Mint's gonna go on top of our cooked fish. Gonna add
After
nice
it's all
fish
cooked?
flavor at the very end.
After
Or
it's all
if you're
cooked.
making mojitos later, you can put them in there.
After, if you're making what? If you're making what?
If you want to make a mojito later, you can use that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, everything else is perfect. In fact, I can't wait to eat. I'll put me back on
The
top.
smell is driving me crazy. Like, can you cook faster, fish?
Yeah. I think we're both very impatient people. This is quite hard.
Yeah, especially when there's food involved.
Well, there was just one little question that I had, and that was to do with the red onion, because in the fish curry you said use a large red one and cut it into 8 wedges, but then you did the half for the curry and half for the bean salad. So,
Yes, exactly. So if you had one onion, you're gonna cut it in half and use half of it in the fish curry and half of it in the salad.
but you can use a whole one in the fish curry and
Oh,
cut it
yes,
into wedges
absolutely.
too with the vegetables when you roast it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly. And really, you can substitute any vegetables for anything. So in the winter, let's say, you could use some squash and some other vegetables. Brussels sprouts, perhaps. Whatever kind of you want. This one really went, like Grace said, the fennel and the acidity of the red onions go really well together. But you can always just replace roasted vegetables with anything else, depending on the season. Go to a local farmer's market if we're allowed to do that anytime soon, and just kind of use your imagination, get creative with it.
I think carrots would taste really good. Chopped up some carrots or maybe parsnip would be really great roasted with this fish as well.
Right. We have a couple minutes left on our timer still, but I'm just going to take a quick peek and see how our fish is doing. Looking good. So what I did is, because we have a big pan and a small area of our vegetables and fish, so I just kind of moved that liquid around just to make sure it's still getting on all of it, making sure those flavors are really coming together to melt. Feel free to do that if you want. If you are using that oven-safe bowl, it will kind of collect itself as well. So whatever method of cooking you decided to use. Yes, we do.
We're gonna grab our bean salad and give that a taste, see how it is looking.
Our salad, giving it a nice little toss. Here. Gonna grab our plates. And our expert plater is going to show us how it's done to make it look really MasterChef-like. No pressure again.
No pressure.
Look at our video, right?
So since we have it in a bowl, I find that it's easiest to just use a spoon and kind of take a little bit of your salad out. I'd put it on the side of your plate if you want to use the same plate for your fish later. So we'll just put it over here. This would be a really great opportunity if you want to chop up that fennel, a little bit of the fennel hair,
Fennel
leaves, yeah, and put those on the top of your salad and just
Now we're
sprinkle
done,
them
eh?
over. 2 servings of our salad there.
Nice and colorful and bright. Yes. So we're going to take out our fish, our timer. We got 30 seconds left. I'm going to call it done. We're going to take a look and see how that's doing. Kind of see that sizzling happening. Take our fish. We're going to take our fork, and we're just going to see how it flakes away. Perfect. So, I don't know if you guys were able to see that.
Or not.
Sure.
So we have our piece of fish here, and we're going to take our fork and just see how easily it flakes away, which means it's done. You can see it's nice and white. There's no clear bits to it. So if you have your fish in the oven, I would check it now because this is pretty much the most perfect fish I've ever cooked in my entire life. So if our timing is the same, I would say it's probably done. So we're going to take our fish and we're going to plate that as well. We're going to cut our fish. We're just going to grab our vegetables and pop it on. Make sure we get some fish and some vegetables. Oh, it smells so good. It does. It really smells good. Whew. I cannot wait to try it. Go. And that is our curried butter, fish, vegetables, and bean salad. So we're gonna, yeah. As always, we would love if you sent us photos of your finished product. We love to see what everyone looks like, the extra things that you guys add. Yeah, does anybody have any questions for us?
Eat.
Yes, our favorite part.
It's lovely.
It looks delicious, yeah.
Well, as always, such a pleasure cooking with you. We always have so much fun. It's Grace's first time, so she wasn't sure what to expect, but
Oh, this has been wonderful.
especially because we can't really get together in person, it's a good substitute. Yeah.
Yeah, but this makes it fun since it's COVID.
Yes.
We'd be doing nothing. And not only that, I want to compliment you. The recipe is absolutely wonderful. I'm going to be making this over and over. I know it.
I'm so glad to hear that. Excellent.
And it's good for you.
Yes, exactly. And we do have a spring fling drive-through happening at the end of April. And then in May, we're doing our painting class.
I'm sorry, you're having a drive-through what?
We're having a spring drive-through, so it means you can come by. We'll give you some lemonades and spring treats. Just another nice way. It'll be physically distanced, so just a nice.
And where is that? Where?
Be at Amica. Yeah, so you just drive up to the front. Grace and I will be there with some.
But what place? Which Amica? Which Amica?
The Westboro one.
Westboro. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
So we'll do that at the end of April, and then we're gonna do class again in May. So
You're gonna do what? What are you gonna do in May?
The painting class.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Similar concept. We drop off the paint, the canvas, and then we go step by step to create masterpieces.
Yeah, I did it. Well, thanks a lot.
Excellent. Well, it's so good to see everybody. Enjoy your dinner. I know we will. And have a great weekend. It's supposed to be beautiful, so get some time outside. Good luck with your vaccine tomorrow. And
Thank you.
yeah, look forward to seeing you all again soon. And yes, if you send us pictures, we'd love to see them. So
I don't know how to do that.
Thank you.
I don't know how to put pictures in, so I can't do it.
if you take a picture and email it to us, maybe.
Can we do that? No. Okay.
But thank you.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you.
Grace.
Thanks
Yeah,
a lot.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Where do we leave? How do we? Oh, here it is.
Thank you.
You hang up.
Yeah, you go away, lady. Here comes.
I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
Top of vegetables.
Okay. We're not going to put salt and pepper on them, are we? Okay, so you put the pepper on them, and then you put, I think it doesn't matter if you put the pepper on them now or when they're on top of there. And then you put that stuff on, and then you cook it for 10.
So shit, let's go see. No fromage.